people that come to your mind in terms of who supported you in your journey? Open for everyone, anyone can start. It's been you can talk about your friends, your teachers, your parents. Anyone want to give it a shot? Yeah?
So my biggest support was my mother, and for things I couldn't discuss with my mother, my brother. So my brother had already given IIT and he had passed, so he's gone to IIT Delhi. So he already knew what kind of challenges I would face, and he would be able to discuss those with me and talk me out of doing things that were not. Like he was the one who told me to start focusing on my maths, because if the paper was easy and I hadn't prepared well in the beginning, everyone else would have an edge over me, because everyone else would have prepared. And if the paper was difficult, then I would have an edge over everyone else. So in order to stay with everyone else or stay above them, I had to work on my maths. So that was one of the things he always stressed for me.
Mother and your mother supported you, brother kind of helped you in your prep.
Yeah.
All right.
For me, my first support was my parents and my brother, for everything, like for taking me to class, asking me about the mock scores. So it gives a sense of accountability that I'm not just doing this and I'm not looking at my mock scores on my own. Even my parents know about it, so I have to do better, if not only for me, but for just to get better, so that even they at the end feel that sense of achievement. So my brother helped me with analytical and maths, because maths I had a huge phobia of it, so I was very bad at it. So they helped me, and of course friends and other, when you see other people scoring high in the mocks, when you see the results, so that was also extremely helpful.
So for me, my parents were my biggest support. So actually in 10th, midway through, I had enrolled for an engineering class, and by Jan I told them that no, I don't want to do engineering, I actually want to do law. So it took a little convincing, but then they agreed. Then my mom said, I'm not letting you go to college, you have to go to school. So I enrolled for ISC, and 1 month through I was like, I can't do this. So they actually let me leave ISC, and that I don't think I would have done as well if I were in ISC actually.
Yeah.
So my biggest support were my parents, and then after that I think it was you only. You helped me along the way after. I still remember the first time when I came to join Career Launcher, you were the one who suggested, don't join college, join school. Because you thought I would spend most of my time chilling, which I anyway did in school too, but I think it was, comparatively, I think it was lesser. Initially one whole year I didn't study at all, and my parents didn't say anything much to me. I think towards the end they started pestering me a little, but then that was because they thought I could do it, and that is when they actually pestered me a little. I think they called you also a couple of times when I wasn't studying or something.
Yes, they did. It was,
in my case, it had to be my parents, because if you're on a drop year, you frankly have very less friends than you would when you're in college. So other than say 2 friends who I would be in regular touch with, it had to be my parents, because there are days when you're down and you feel you're hopeless and you're never going to crack LAT and it's not going to happen. At that time, you need someone, who'd say it's okay, and, they take you out for a film or for dinner or something like that. So it had to be them.
And anyone parents studied with you? Help you with GK, prep GK, and
I used to not let my mom do anything else. I used to sit in front of her and recite everything to GK. I don't know how she dealt with me honestly. Because for hours I'd just sit in front of her. If she looked away at her phone, I'd say, no, you have to listen to me. I need to tell you this. I need to finish this. And I'd sit for hours and hours and just recite my GK to her. So I'm really thankful she dealt with all my mood swings and continuously listening to all this.
Yeah, please.
So my biggest support, of course, has to be my mom, because she didn't really take part in my preparation per se, but just staying up with me. So if I was studying till say 2 in the night, she would also stay up with me, and I used to even tell her to go and sleep, but she was just there for the moral support. She stood like a pillar next to me. So that is one thing that I'm really grateful for, and the whole CL faculty, obviously, there's presence sitting here who helped me a lot in math, gave me a lot of tricks and shortcuts. But I think after my mom and my dad, I think it has to be Namrata ma'am who really, really helped me, because I remember, I think after IELT, I think 2 days after IELT, I was very disappointed and I just couldn't go on. So I think I called her at 1:30 in the night and spoke to her for I think 45 minutes, and that is when I was very chilled and I realized that I had to go on for the next 3 weeks. So I owe it big time to her as well.
Okay.
So for me, my mother provided a lot of moral support, not much in the way of preparation, but a lot of logistical support, especially when the news finally changed that from an online paper to a written OMR sheet. What I did was I'd collect the paper from, I'd collect the mocks from the center, collect an OMR sheet as well, put down the answers, and then it would be a bit monotonous for me to do to input the answers myself online. So she would instead look at the OMR sheet and put the answers correspondingly, and that saved me a lot of time. And honestly, that was super helpful for me because I was saving a lot of time doing this, and just having that support throughout, that helped a lot.
So the firstly, it was my parents, because I feel like, and my grandparents as well, because they pampered me a lot in this 1 year. Like I feel like they come and give me food and, you know, pampering me like anything. And secondly, even the faculty, because I remember there were so many times when Namrata ma'am came to class and we would just rant to her about our marks and she'd be like, no, it's fine, and really support us that way. And also I used to watch a lot of motivational videos on YouTube, which really helped.
So my parents would always support me. My mother would stay awake with me until late, but they never told me in any mock ki, you've done very well. They never praised me to an extent where I would be satisfied. So they always told me, so many people have done better than you, you've done good. But so that kept me pushing. And also the faculty, I mean, Samyat sir, Namrata ma'am, Palash sir, Prasanth sir, they've all been excellent. Anytime you could call them, very approachable, always ready to solve doubts. And friends, in CL, the friends you make, they keep pushing you. You see them doing better sometimes, you do better sometimes, so you grow together, you do well together. So I felt that was very important.
For me, my parents used to support me a lot. Like they used to ask me my mock scores every week. They used to ask why you didn't get more, probably a lot of times. And they used to ask me my rank, so I knew my rank, and they gave me motivation to study harder. My brothers also used to give me motivation. My eldest brother used to help me with my studies in CLAT, especially maths and verbal, like English and verbal logic. And I'll say, of course, the CL faculty was superb. We had several doubt sessions, and we had sessions about how to increase mock scores. Who used to give tremendous support and tremendous knowledge on cracking CLAT as such. So it was a good journey with CL as well.
I think my biggest support will be my parents. So throughout the drop, you tend to, when you are facing a lows, you tend to rant a lot, and they had to listen all that. So I'm really thankful for that. And I also had a friend of mine who also gave CLAT this year. So we got together at least once or twice a week, and we discussed what were our weaknesses and how the scores is going on. So I think when you have someone and you realize that they are in the same boat as you are, then it gives you a lot of support.
Did you make the best out of the faculty, or it's like, what should you do? There are a lot of faculty members, a lot of kids. What is the 2 to 3 things?
Yeah, so if you have doubt in any particular topic, just call them up or just make a session right there. Like, make a session as fast as you can with them and get that cleared. And even if you have doubts with the CLAT as such particular, you should text Jijo sir probably. He'll help you a lot in that.
Okay. Yeah.
I think when it comes to faculty, the first thing you should do is listen to what they say. They're here for a reason, and these are some of the best teachers I've ever met. and so what the advice that they give is invaluable, and it 100% of the time it will help you in any way. And secondly, like I think everyone's mentioned before, the CL faculty is just so approachable. You can text them anytime, you can call them anytime, any doubt, whatever they have, and it will get clarified immediately. Like Ritik said, the sooner you get it clarified, the better. And then I feel that like all the faculty, like, they really pushed me in the sense that they instilled this belief in me that I can do better, and so I must. And keeping up with them regularly and checking your performance with them to hear what they have to say and taking their advice and feedback is also really good. So yeah.
I think faculty play a very important non-academic role as well, because they see you in and out preparing in class, they see your mock scores regularly, so they know what your potential is, they know what you can achieve, so they always push you towards it. Like I remember Samrat sir would call me after every mock and he'd say, there are 4 people who've done better than you in CL Mumbai, how does this work? So I said, oh, I have to pull my socks up, and then like I'd go back into it. But then when he could tell that it was taking a hit to my confidence, he'd tell me, no, you're doing so well, there's a bright future, might as well push right now, you know, there's always a better tomorrow, go for it. So they're always there in that sense as well. It's not just a specific doubt. I know I can always text any of them when I have issues with self-belief, when I feel I'm not able to get, you know, CLAT in general as an entire idea or an entire exam, I can't really get a hang of it. I know that when I text faculty, they'll always be there for me, which is a very important fallback to have.
Okay. Anyone else? Did I miss anyone here? Yeah.
I do remember that I was pretty bad at logic initially, and Palash sir had sent a number of documents and PDFs to us by Gmail, and I frankly used them. I solved them all over again this year as well, and I also remember he was very, very helpful for me for that brief period of maths classes that we had in the end, to just save us out of, you know, getting out of a disaster. I still got 2, but it was very helpful.
All right.
I would really like to thank all the faculty. The faculty of CL is really nice, and you can approach them anytime. I was from CL Vashi personally, so there was this sir, he stopped teaching at CL, Abhimanyu sir. I want to mention his name because he was a legal faculty for a year, and it is entirely because of him that I could solve the legal section properly. And besides that, I used to sit at the center and study. So the staff over there had become like a second home, so it's very supportive.
Another thing is, there was a CL group, and whenever we used to post any doubts, the teachers used to respond, I think, like mostly within an hour or so, and like even if it was in the middle of the night, so that was really like to see that the teachers are putting so much of efforts, so it kind of encourages you and motivates you that you also need to put up that much of effort too.
What is the latest, in the middle of the night, did you get message from teachers on reply?
That was usually the time we got the reply.
So they are awake then?
So I think 12 to 2 is the most active time for most of CL teachers. So you should try texting them after 12, because that is when you'll get the most frequent replies.
Oh. So from me as well? No.
No, I think you respond throughout the day, but I think I'm talking in terms of mostly just Namrata ma'am and Palash sir.
Alright, interesting.
Yeah, and for math doubts, I used to just approach Prasan sir, Gaurav sir, Jolan sir. They were always available at the faculty, at the center. So I remember I think I spent 4 hours solving around 100 math questions with Gaurav sir, just to, you know, finish my module. We were determined. I think he had to go out somewhere, but he cancelled those plans just to, you know, solve all my doubts. So that is how approachable the CL faculty is.
There is one thing that I must say is that once the CLAT got done, and with a lot of colleges that people have to apply to, the number of calls that I'm getting is unbelievable. Okay, I'm on call morning, afternoon, evening, night. These days when somebody puts WhatsApp, if I don't reply in 5 minutes, I get 2 question mark. I have a life. Okay, and the people, there are people who have called me after the CLAT, after all the test is done, some 10 times. And I was thinking, why didn't you call me before? And I'm very clear. I don't want to work. And I think there are quite a few of sitting here who made me work. Okay, calling me, texting me. I was forced to record quite a lot of videos. I did that with a lot of doubts. Somebody said, oh, we have problem in eyelid puzzles. Abhi kahan se karu main? So I opened my laptop, put my laptop recorder, and recorded a video and send it. And if somebody asks me, I will help. And if I don't help, give gali. Okay. And one of the things that you guys must do, I'm telling you, must do. Don't wait for CLAT is over to figure out what your faculties are. Faculties are very approachable, right? I'm sure that if you look at what I see common in all of them. So it was. This time I'll do this earlier. The shocker that came to me was in Jan when I had this interaction with my colleague at Delhi, and suddenly realized my kids are not doing well, and I have to do something. And then we as a team got together and said that we should have some goals, and we decided let's put some target for results. And we put on the board that this year let's start with 20 out of 100. We have 20 out of 200, we didn't achieve the target. But last year we had 10 out of 200. We said we'll put 20 out of 200. Please do take the help. That's one. The second thing I can hear from all of them is that they took a lot of mocks. Okay, that's the second. And third is this one I asked. At some point you would have. Was it a point that in your journey, at any point that you said, "Nahi hoga mere se, I'm not going to crack it"? Did it happen? For how many of it happened? Okay, how did you get out of that point? Or what changed?
We knew that, I think, so for me actually, I knew that I'd taken it up. So even if there was no way that I would get into the top 2 or 5, whenever at that point that I realized I wouldn't get into top 5 or whatever, I decided that whatever I'd get, that would be nice and enough for me, because that would be what I had done and that would be my best. So I had just given up, and then I decided that though like I've given up on the hopes of getting into a top ranked NLU, I have taken this up and I have been putting the effort since 2 years, and so I have to take it to the end and then see whatever result might be.